Hey, what's going on, beautiful jellyfish? It's Tracy. Thanks for hanging out with me today. We're going to be talking about my EDH updates. I feel like I haven't sit down to film a video in so long. I don't really know why. It feels very strange, but okay. So these are my own personal EDH updates. Not EDH is what's going on with other cards coming out and stuff like that. But I have a lot of stuff to talk about, and I've been wanting to film this video because I think we had. Last week was crazy because I had a lot of stuff going on, and we traveled, and it was my birthday, and then there was just a lot of stuff going on before, so July's a lot more relaxed until I go back to work. So anyways, I have 4 decks that I'm building, which is kind of insane, so that's one reason that I really wanted to film this for you guys. I'm gonna sit on my pillow here so I'm a bit higher up. But basically, I wanted to talk to you guys about my new decks, get some insight, get some feedback. I'm really pumped about this. And a lot of these are different colors and color schemes and stuff that I normally I guess I maybe wouldn't have normally done, and I kind of wanted to branch out and do a little bit of some different things. So I want to first start talking about goblins. So I'm going to be building mono red goblins, which is going to be Grenzo as the commander. I think a lot of people look at Krenko as probably the number 1 goblins option, but what I really like about Grenzo is I feel like Krenko is very much the aggressive, hit him hard, hit him quick, commander, make a ton of goblin synergy and stuff like that. And I really liked Grenzo as soon as I first saw him, and I thought that this deck would work really well. And it's kind of more of a mid-range, obviously yes, it can be really explosive and your CMC is really low, but one reason that I really wanted to build mono red goblins instead of black red goblins is my friend Logan, who his deck tag is going to be up in a couple of weeks that you guys are going to see. He has black red goblins. I am so blanking on the name of his commander right now, but he has that deck, so I didn't want to build, 1, his deck, and 2, I didn't really want to build it with the same commander. I just didn't really want to do that, so I decided I'm just going to build mono red. Also, mono red is a color, I don't really have a lot of mono colored decks. I have Avacyn, who's mono white, but I don't have anything else, so I really wanted to explore just doing a monocolored deck. So this was kind of a couple of reasons for this. So again, it's going to be more mid-range. Obviously it can be really explosive, but I'm really pumped about this this deck. I think it's going to be really fun. I don't have that much, these are actually all the cards that I have, and I haven't even gotten lands and stuff for it, but these are pretty much most of these are creatures actually. But yeah, I'm really excited about this deck. I think it's going to be cool. I like that Grenzo's only 2 mana, so you can get him out really early. You basically just play him on turn 2. I don't see really what else you would be doing on turn 2, and I'm really excited to Blood Moon people, because that seems really fun. So that is mono red goblins. If you guys have any card recommendations or things like that, or if you have a deck list, I'm always up for I'll always look at stuff. Okay, the next deck is zombies. So this is another mono deck. So this is mono black. I could have done blue with it too, but this is Mikaeus is going to be the commander, and these are all the cards that I have for it so far. And these is including lands. So I have a good majority of the deck. The thing that I'm really missing are the creatures. So that is going to be the big thing that I am going to really need a lot of. But I have a really good portion of this deck, which is really awesome. And I bounced back and forth about who I wanted the commander to be, but I settled on Mikaeus because I really liked the undying effect of him as a commander, which I thought was really strong. And also, whenever human deals damage to you, there are a lot of humans. It's the number 1 archetype, so I feel like that is going to be really much more useful than I think I'm originally thinking it's going to be. I think it's going to come into play in games a lot more than it may necessarily look. So I'm really pumped about Mikaeus. That's the deck that I'm probably gonna prioritize first. I'm gonna talk about that towards the end of the video after I talk about all of them. But this is probably gonna be the deck that I prioritize first in terms of building, just because it needs the fewest amount of things. I'm also really excited about both of these for the mana base, because they're both gonna be pretty straightforward, which is really nice. I'm not gonna have a lot of specialty lands and things like that. That was one reason that I really wanted to. And I remember talking to someone one time about really like their ideal deck lists and stuff would be about like having like a commander deck of pretty much like all of the different color schemes. So I think that would be really cool. I might have doubles of some because I've talked about doing another green blue deck, which I already have a green blue deck, but it would be totally different than that. So Mikaeus, I'm really pumped for it. I had a zombie deck, like a 60 card deck, like a really long time ago when I started playing Magic, and it was really awesome and really fun. And so I'm really pumped to like get to play it in Commander. I really like what's the like archetype decks. I really like decks like that. So I'm really excited. And these next two, those two are like archetype like goblins and zombies, but the next two are not. So this is really really fun. So I definitely have a good mix of that. So that's Mikaeus. Okay, the next, I'm going to save this one for last because I think it's going to be the most fun. I think you guys are going to really like it, is actually Mugus. So please let me know in the comments if you've been here from the beginning when I had a Mugus God of Slaughter deck. Please let me know because I would really like that. There is a deck tech, I'm very certain on my channel of this deck, and I took this deck apart and I honestly don't really know why. Like I remember some decks taking apart and remembering, I don't remember why I took this deck apart. It was so fun. It's a sacrifice theme deck, which is going to be the same theme as this one, where pretty much the premise is sacking my creatures and regenerating them, but then having everyone else sack their creatures in turn. So it's going to be really really fun, a lot of like death triggers and things. This is like totally up my alley, but it's also got the red, which is definitely my it's the color I most underutilize, that color, so I really wanted to like have a lot more red, which 3 out of 4 of these have red in them. So I'm really excited about this deck. I think it's going to be really fun. I really like Mugus as a commander. I think he's really strong. I love that he's a god, so he's indestructible, so he's a little bit harder to remove. And also if he's a creature, that's great, but you don't really like need him to be a creature. So this deck is going to be really fun. It's going to be, the recursion is definitely something I've done before, but the sacrifice type theme is not. Like I don't have any of my other decks that do that, and I wanted that to be a little bit different in this deck. And yeah, okay. Are you guys ready for like the most exciting, in my opinion, deck? I mean, maybe some of these are more exciting for you, but for me, it's going to be Keranos. I had Keranos, again, I had this deck and then I took it apart, and it was basically, all it did was like counter things and draw cards. Like that was all it did, and it just didn't really do anything. Like it sounds like that, it didn't do anything else. So I was like, didn't really feel like it was that powerful, and I pretty much got inspired to build this after my one friend Travis has a, not this commander, but a different commander, and he basically just like takes his opponent's creatures and artifacts and stuff and then just plays them. Like he just steals things, and I was like, I want to build a steal things deck. I think that would be so fun. So I pretty much was like, I want to do it, and I've had Keranos in my Magic box for a really long time because I was like, one day I might put him in something or I might build him again, and I just had him for so long and I really wanted to use him. But again, I didn't know what to do with him because I didn't want to do like the draw counter thing again. That just not, the drawing is definitely my style, and I like having a couple of counter spells, but just it wasn't fun. So this is going to be really awesome. It's basically just going to be probably not that much creatures. It's going to be a lot more relying on my opponents playing good stuff so that I can take control, and then Keranos gives me card advantage as well as like the grind of killing my opponents. So he's kind of like the main win con, and then taking my taking everyone else's stuff. So this is the deck that I think I'm going to really need the most help building on, because I don't really like, this is a little bit of a different thing, so I need like help for like cards that just, you know, like take things. I just want to steal my opponent's stuff. So it's a little bit like, not necessarily as much giving my stuff to my opponents, it's really just like, I'm gonna take your great stuff and I'm gonna have them and you're not gonna have them. So I think it's gonna be really fun. I'm like very excited to build this deck. I think it's gonna be the thing. So kind of the point that I mentioned earlier is that about what deck I'm gonna finish first. I have the most cards for zombies, so I'm gonna finish zombies first. But I got, so my birthday was like last week, so I got a TCG player gift card, which is super awesome. So I'm gonna be buying a ton of Magic cards, And also this past weekend was GP Magic Fest. What are we calling them now? I don't know. Dallas, and I have, which I don't know if I told you guys, but I have this list of like all of the Magic cards that I want, and like foilings and like sets and all the stuff. And it's not including these cards because I haven't figured out those the lists yet. Like I haven't figured out. I think Zombies is the only one that I have a list of cards. I don't have a list of cards for all these yet. I just have cards like these are cards that like I've just like accumulated for Keranos. Like that's pretty much all I have. And this is like Mugus that I have so far and stuff. So, anyways, I ended up I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so Dallas was this weekend. So I sent that list of cards to my friends who work at Mage's Sanctum, and they picked me up some stuff, which was super nice of them. So I have some stuff that they sent me, so I gotta kind of like figure out if I want any of like cards from that list, and then I'll work on building these. I don't necessarily know how much things are gonna be. Also, this is like my deck building process is like so jank because, or like purchasing process, because if there's like a major difference in regular and foil, I won't get it, but if there's like a little bit of a difference, I'll get the foil, so I might not be able to get as many cards as, you know, like regular if I was just getting like the cheapest version, but I'm not because I'm going to be getting foils for some of these, so those may be a little bit more expensive. But I'm going to be building deck lists and stuff tomorrow. That's actually my project, is I'm going to be just building like a ton of deck lists for these so that I have all the cards that I need. And I might actually film like kind of like my deck building process, because I have a lot of videos on like deck building and kind of, but I think it'll be helpful to be like, this is what I do. So yeah, guys, that was everything for this video. If you guys have any like especially for Keranos, just because I don't really know necessarily all of like the keywords are a little bit harder, like gain control of, I guess, kind of like type things, or like things like that. If you have any cards that you think would work like really well with that. So yeah, that is it. Thanks for hanging out with me in this video, and I will see you guys in my next. Bye.